A reading from St. John's Gospel, chapter 15. Jesus said to his disciples, "As the Father has loved me, so I have loved you. Abide in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. I have said these things to you, so that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be complete. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends, if you do what I command you. I do not call you servants any longer, because the servant does not know what the master is doing. But I have called you friends, because I have made known to you everything that I have heard from my Father. You did not choose me, but I chose you, and I appointed you to go and bear fruit that will last, so that the Father will give you whatever you ask him in my name. I am giving these commands so that you may love one another." Once again, we hear Jesus speak love in the gospel today. In this pandemic, especially while we have to keep a distance from each other, we wonder how to keep this first and foremost commandment of Christ. It's because we don't have much chance to see one another. I believe there are now many who feel lonelier. Many of us miss the social contact and long for community celebrations. Last 2 months, I spent less than 30 minutes of in-person conversations. Fortunately, my cat becomes more chatty these days that I have to speak much more than when I first adopted her a few months ago. But what Jesus teaches us is not to chat with a pet animal, but to love people. How do we love one another this time? First, to endure loneliness for the sake of the common good, the safety and health of people. Whether during the lockdown or after the reopening, minimizing social contact will help us fight this pandemic. Our patience and endurance against loneliness is a silent exercise of love for others. Second, to endure each other we spend more time with now. As we cut external social contacts, we find we spend more time with certain people, especially our families. And this is not always easy. Our patience with each other is an exercise of love. Third, to protect others first by sacrificing our rights. During this pandemic, we will realize it is more effective to protect others than to protect ourselves in fighting the spread of the virus. I can control what I do and where I go, but it is almost impossible to control others. If we attempt to control others while we insist on our rights and freedom, in the end, everyone will be exposed to the danger of infection by everyone's rights and freedom. To consider others' safety and well-being first, and to sacrifice voluntarily one's rights and freedom can save our community and society. Giving up one's freedom and rights in this time is a bloodless martyrdom, a noble act of love of one's neighbors. I am sure this tempest of a pandemic can make our Christian virtue of love relevant to our times and strong and resilient in difficulties. And as we adhere to our Lord with love, we will bear much fruit as Jesus promises.